how do you advise people to figure out, what are the gaps and also to define when a gap has been closed? Because these things look very different, let's say in like education than it would in healthcare. So how do you know what the gap is and how do you know if you've done a good job closing it?
So we don't think that there is a one-size-fits-all formula for gap closing. We take it sector by sector. So we have ed tech investments in fintech and workplace. But if you take a particular sector, then you can look at when we're looking at an investment opportunity, we ask if this works, who is going to benefit? And so there's a huge difference between an ed tech company that has an offering for affluent parents to buy kids an additional advantage in competitive college applications, might be several $100s an hour for online tutoring. That's a gap widening approach because it brings the top and the bottom further apart. Whereas an ed tech company that is serving kids who go to schools in low-income communities, and in the U.S. those are called Title I schools. That is going to be gap closing if they're, if they succeed. So we're very interested in who is being served, and also we will look, therefore, as the company progresses on did they make good on their commitments? What are the outcomes for the targeted and selected groups? And the analysis is similar in principle, but different in detail if you're talking about health or fintech and so on.
And I would add to that, the beginning of your question, very important, is what advice to investors. These are huge underserved opportunities. The markets are enormous, and the problems are real. The problems are ones that hold back whole countries from GDP, from financial growth. There's been a lot that's been written in recent years about growing income inequality and wealth inequality across the developed world and the consequences of that. Or if you look at an issue like climate change, who's most vulnerable? And we know the cost to society of climate change. So what we think is that these are first-class problems in need of great scalable solutions. And by definition, that's a great investment.